are worth less. And as of June, which is our latest month of data available, homes on average are worth about $180,000 for the country. But beyond the line, there's a little bit of a story, which I'm sure you all as industry professionals know. In the early years of 2000, from say like 2000 to 2007, we had the run up into the bubble when home values were appreciating quite rapidly. In 2007, home values peaked at about $196,000, and since then we had had almost 5 years of decline. In 2012, early 2012, home values bottomed out, and since then, for the last 3 years, we've been seeing a really great recovery period. Home values have been increasing across the country, quite rapidly in some places, and in the last year, we've seen home value appreciation slow to around 3%, which is a really good thing because it means the market is stabilizing and steadying and sort of getting back to normal. Drilling down and looking at the Orlando metro area, you all definitely experienced the housing bubble and bust and have had a really strong recovery in the last couple of years. Home values increased rapidly and peaked and then fell by about half. But since then, we've seen really above average appreciation rates. And in the last year, home values in Orlando have appreciated almost 5%. Comparing Orlando to the rest of the country in the last year, Orlando is one of our hotter markets. Our super hot markets are San Francisco, Denver, and Dallas, all places that weren't affected as greatly by the housing bubble, have now seen home values that are the most expensive they've ever been. Orlando, you can see in Florida, in the south and on the west coast, those are our really hotter markets, and markets in the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic and Northeast are seeing a little bit more moderated appreciation. As I mentioned on the previous slide, we've seen home values increase 5% in the last year in Orlando, and you're right in line with some of your close neighbors or other metro areas in Florida, Tampa, and Miami, who have also seen above average rates of appreciation. In the past year, the US appreciated just over 3%, so Tampa at 5%, you guys are above average. So if we look at the metro area here on my slide, I've put a map of zip codes in the Orlando metro area, and the map is shaded according to annual appreciation and home values. In the table, I have some cities in the metro area with both the home value as of June 2015 and its annual change. One thing we've seen in Orlando, most of the zip codes have seen appreciation and seen really hot appreciation. Some places that are our hottest are St. Cloud, Sanford, and Winter Springs have all seen above average appreciation in the metro area. But as I mentioned, the US is appreciating just around 3%, so most places here in Orlando are appreciating faster than that. One thing that we're seeing out in many metro areas is that there's a small supply of for sale homes. This line on our graph shows our time series of inventory, so the number of homes listed for sale. And you can see in 2010, 2011, and 2012, as home values were declining, there were a lot of homes listed for sale. Then in 2012, when home values bottomed out, we saw the number of homes listed for sale decrease dramatically. In a lot of places across the country, like Dallas and San Francisco, the line is just sort of flat from there, so they're really seeing a huge shortage of inventory. Orlando, we've seen a little bit more activity, a few more homes listed for sale, and as of June, on average, there's been between 13,000 and 14,000 homes listed for sale in the whole metro area. So you guys are actually doing a little bit better with the amount of homes out there for y'all to sell than most places. So a big effect of having a small number of homes listed for sale is that they are selling quite quickly compared to a few years ago. In 2011, 2012, when a lot of homes were listed for sale and home values were still declining, we saw that homes were not selling as quickly on average. This metric is days on Zillow, and it's the median number of days a home takes to sell from when it was first listed on Zillow until the sale was recorded in the county office. So you can see there's definitely a seasonal pattern. It's shorter. Homes takes less time to sell in the summer months, which we're in right now, and they take a little bit longer to sell in the winter just due to the general seasonality of the real estate market. But overall, the line has been trending downwards, and so that means homes are selling a bit quicker than they did in the last 5 years. On average, as of May, around 90 days from the time the home is first listed and all the way through the close. So, another challenge for the housing market has been negative equity or underwater homeowners. These are people that their home was worth less than their mortgage balance. So this map, I've shown you guys the whole country, and it's from 2011 Q1. So this is when home values were at their lowest. We had the highest rate of homeowners with a mortgage who were underwater, around 31% for the whole country. Here in Orlando, you guys were hit a little bit more hard, and over half, almost 54% of homeowners with a mortgage were underwater at this point. If you look across the country, the hardest hit areas were Florida. You can see a little pocket of red in Atlanta. They were also hit really hard, as well as Southern and the Central Valley of California, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. But there is, a silver lining to this story. In the 3 years since then, negative equity has really, really declined. The strong recoveries as home values increased and homeowners paid off their mortgage or paid down their mortgage balance, that's lifted many homeowners out of negative equity. I think we've had 7 or 8 million homeowners nationwide increase negative equity since its peak in 2012. And in Orlando, I mentioned earlier, you all had over half of homeowners with a mortgage underwater in 2012. And now, as of March, you guys are down to just under 20%. So you guys have seen that rate decrease dramatically. And a lot of people have escaped negative equity, although there's still some homeowners that are trapped in their home who can't sell it right now because they would either have to short sale or bring cash to closing, and neither of those options are great for most homeowners. But we've seen negative equity really decrease. Orlando, you've gone from over 50% to just under 20%, and as we expect home values to continue to rise in the future and people to live in their homes longer, more owners will be able to escape negative equity. Okay, so this slide is where I geeked out a little bit and I put a lot of numbers, but one question we get asked a lot, especially from consumers, is it a good time to buy? Are homes affordable? What will my mortgage payment be like? And so what I've graphed here are our mortgage and rent affordability indexes, and basically what they tell you is if you were sort of the person with the average income and you wanted to go out and buy the average home or rent the average home in the Orlando area, depending on mortgage rates or the rental prices and home prices, how much of my income would I need to spend each month in order to buy or rent a home? So if we look at the green line, that's our mortgage affordability number. And right now, as of the end of June, if you wanted to go out and buy the typical home in the Orlando area with the typical income, you would spend around 16% of your income on mortgage payments. So that's just the principal and income. And we compared this number to a historic affordability average. We looked at the average from 1985 to 2000. So before the bubble, before all the fluctuations in the housing market, to sort of get a sense of what people had been paying in the past. That average is just over 20%. So right now, 20% average, you're currently at 16%. A lot of that is due to the historically low mortgage rates we've been seeing over the past couple of years. But so homes are a little bit cheaper right now for your out-of-pocket expense. If you were to compare to a homeowner, buying in the 80s or 90s, it's a little bit cheaper. And as mortgage rates rise, you might approach closer to the historic average, but we don't really think there's going to be a great swing in the market and houses here are going to become unaffordable. Renting, on the other hand, is a little bit of a different story. Since 2000, incomes have grown half as fast as rents have grown, so it's making renting a little bit less affordable. Our white line, or light blue line, looks a little white to me, on the graph, it's been increasing steadily over the period I graphed, which is since 2000. So if you were sort of the average person going out and renting a home, you could expect to pay just over 30% of your income on rent, compared to a historic average of under 25%. And so, it's great, homes are affordable to buy, but as renting is a little bit more expensive, it can affect the home buying market in that younger people who are renting now but would like to own a home in the future, they're having a little bit more trouble saving for a down payment. At Zillow, we also do a lot of research into millennials, sort of their feelings, how they feel about home ownership. Because, you all probably read news stories that say, millennials don't want to buy homes, they want to rent forever. We think those are wrong. Millennials, sort of like their grandparents, exhibit a really strong desire.
We pay for the production, and you can use the video wherever you'd like. So it's one of the things that I really like about the program. And if you guys have any questions about the tools or just anything that's free, as well as Premier Agent, we'll be over there. Mia and Wes is the other guy that's here. We'll be over there to answer your guys' questions, so come find me.
All right, thanks, John. Great stuff. Before I forget, we talked about the importance of reviews, and all of you in front of you have a survey, or you should. I think we ran out because there's so many of you. We look at everyone. It helps us make the content better and better. So we appreciate you take time to fill it out. When you do fill it out, that's how you get your agent handbook when we're done. So just turn the survey in the same place you got your name.